Tina, Tina, I can't see you. Where? Oh, I see. Oh, is that you? Oh, did she hang up on me? She's the worst. She runs 10Ks for fun. Okay, so I can't find my friend Tina, so I might as well tell you guys about breathalyzers and how they relate to clubs, okay, guys? So on this episode of Fantasy Vanpool, get ready for some fun, okay? Yeah, this music's more my speed. And I can't see with these, so I have to take these off. All right. We're going to get right into it. That was a short intro because we had enough house music to satisfy a Coachella audience. Okay, so breathalyzers. What's going on with them? So you're probably thinking, why do I even need to know about breathalyzers? And I hope, and I hope, and I hope that you guys never have to breathe into one. You never have to have the unfortunate experience of breathing into one, because you should always get an Uber, have a friend, get a DD to drive you home if you've been drinking, okay? Or maybe if you are the DD, don't drink and drive, okay? Or I will find you and I'm gonna, like, that's me slapping you, okay? I can slap you, with respect, okay? So breathalyzers. So what exactly is a breathalyzer? A breathalyzer is another instrument that is used in the field as well as at stations to determine if someone has alcohol in their system. So what's interesting is in the lungs, when you breathe in, obviously when you breathe in oxygen, that oxygen is going to go into your bloodstream through your lungs. Your lungs have this nice moist membrane that allows for that gas passage to go from your esophagus into your lungs into your bloodstream. Well, it also takes the CO2, the carbon dioxide, out of your body so that when you exhale, that's what's coming out. All right? So when you drink, when you're out at the club and you're drinking, well, that alcohol is going to get into your blood. So just along with carbon dioxide, that alcohol is going to go from your blood, this is your blood, into your lungs. So when you're breathing out, you actually breathe out alcohol as well. So how do we measure that? Well, there's some fancy calculations that we don't need to worry about that relate breath alcohol to blood alcohol. But what I want to talk about in this fantasy vanpool is just how breathalyzers work and how we use IR, infrared radiation, to measure the amount of breath alcohol in you, and then it'll relate that to blood alcohol within your body. Okay, so breath testers. So a breath tester is an instrument that can be used in the field that uses infrared radiation. Now, I've mentioned that once already. What exactly is infrared radiation? If you haven't already seen my video on basically FTIR and drug analysis, you can skip past this part. But all radiation or all light energy exists in this spectrum here. You'll see my little cursor going up and down. So this spectrum here. So radio waves have long wavelengths. They're safe. They're not going to hurt you. Microwaves are getting a little shorter. Those can definitely hurt you. And then we have the visible light spectrum, like sunlight. Here's sunlight. And then we have over here gamma rays. That's really bad. Gamma rays, unfortunately, will not make you green and swole and angry and in love with Scarlett Johansson. They will just make you dead. But maybe still in love with Scarlett Johansson. I don't know. I don't know your life. So visible light. So visible light, like the light that's shining on my beautiful, shiny, gross face. If I were to have a prism like the Pink Floyd symbol, it would break into its composite, or its ingredients, you can call them: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Roy G. Biv, the colors of the spectrum. Now, just below red visible light is infrared radiation, or infrared light. Infra meaning below and red meaning red. It's awesome. So infrared radiation. The really interesting thing with drug chemistry is that infrared radiation interacts with molecules in a very unique format. But we're not concerned about that. What we're concerned is how do we use infrared radiation to measure breath alcohol concentration and ultimately blood alcohol concentration. So I want you to think of, your friends at the club. All right, you're going to meet a friend at the club, say Tina. I actually do have a friend named Tina who runs 10Ks for fun, and I love her to death. If you're watching, love you, Tina. Um, so you're going to the club or to the bar on a Saturday night. Now think of a Saturday night. This is pre-coronavirus, pre-quarantine. This video is only applicable until the end of February 2020, and then after, whenever we get out of this crazy mess. So you go to the bar, you go to the club, and it's a Saturday night, it's hopping, there's a lot of people there, the drinks are flowing. Think about that. There's a lot of people there, the drinks are flowing, a lot of people are drinking, meaning that the concentration of this chamber, or you're at the club here, this is the club, think of the club, there's a lot of alcohol in there. I think there's a lot of alcohol. The drinks are flowing. There's a lot of people. This is a Saturday night. Okay. So, are you going to be able to see your friend Tina pretty well if it's very busy? The answer is no. You're going to have to look through a lot of people and you maybe won't find her. Well, think of that as, this is you and this is Tina. Now, what are these parts here? Now, you are the IR radiation source. So think of yourself as like that light bulb. This is a light bulb. We use an IR radiation source, and this IR light is going to pass through the club or, go through this chamber. And this is your friend Tina. And this line that I'm drawing is the visibility between you and Tina. Now, if there's a lot of alcohol or a lot of people present, you're going to have low visibility. All right. Now, what if I'm changing this? I'm going to change this to a Wednesday night. All right. Now, I don't know how many of you go out on a Wednesday night. I don't, because I'm old and decrepit and I'm an old soul and I'm grandpa. Now, are there going to be a lot of people compared to a Saturday night at the club? Again, the answer is no. There's going to be a few people. There's going to be some drinks pouring. It's going to be okay. There's going to be something there, but there's not going to be that much alcohol flowing. So are you going to be able to see Tina more? The answer is yeah. You're going to be able to see Tina, and so that visibility is going to go up. Now, breathalyzers work in that way. When there is a high amount of alcohol in this chamber, then basically there's going to be not a lot of radiation that's going to be detected by my detector here. All right. So what is this chamber? Now this chamber is what you blow into. It's when you, that's what you're blowing into. You're blowing your air into this chamber here. And if you've been drinking a lot, if it's a Saturday night and you've been drinking a lot, there's going to be a lot of alcohol and there's not going to be a lot of radiation that's detected by the detector. And so what ends up happening is not a lot of radiation, not a lot of IR. It tells you that there's a lot of blood alcohol or breath alcohol. So it's an inverse relationship. All right? An inverse relationship. So if I were to say that it's a Wednesday night, you really haven't been drinking that much, there's not a lot of alcohol there. Well, as opposed to the 1x, only or 3x's from the Saturday night, well, we're going to have more radiation, more IR radiation detected by my detector here. And so what's the computer is going to say is ultimately there's not a lot of blood alcohol or breath alcohol in the person's system. Okay? So just remember that a breathalyzer utilizes IR radiation to inversely detect how much breath alcohol is in someone. Okay? So think of the Saturday night versus the Wednesday night, versus the Saturday night has a lot of alcohol. It's going to be blocking your view from your friend, blocking the IR radiation from the detector, as compared to the Wednesday night where not a lot of people, not a lot of drinks flowing. So you're going to be able to see your friend Tina more, and ultimately that leads to a lower blood alcohol concentration because you have higher visibility or higher energy is being detected. All right, guys. So until next time, that's your fantasy van pool for the day. I hope you have a great time and go out clubbing when this is all over. All right. Stay safe, everyone.